Next question is from Don't Worry, It's Just Courtney. What are some of the biggest limitations for people who begin lifting for the first time at 40?
All right. Physical limitations, it's always mobility.
Yeah.
Always going to be mobility. By the way, this is always one of the biggest limitations with anybody. It just becomes a maybe different or bigger issue with someone over the age of 40, where I want to do this exercise or these movements. They're really good, but it hurts their back or their knee, or they can't move properly. They can't connect properly. So there's going to be a period of correctional exercise before we start to do some of these movements, which, by the way, there's a misconception that the correctional exercise portion of a workout or routine means you're not building muscle, you're not getting results. That's not true. Correctional exercise still progresses you. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is a lot of people are like, they want to skip it. Like, no, I just want to get to the workouts that really move the needle in terms of results.
Can I share a story with you guys right now that you just set off? So Kyle, who works for us, is also a trainer. He also happens to train a lot of our family members. So this weekend when I was at the wedding, I was actually talking to my two sister-in-laws that train with him, and they were telling me, I got to talk to Kyle. So Kyle will probably hear this for the first time and tell him to stand up for himself. But my mother-in-law, who's like the queen bee of the family, she's the one that like runs the show, is always giving him shit because of the mobility stuff that he makes her do before that. And she's like, hey, let's go, speed it up, let's get to the lifting weights. I don't need to be doing this bullshit. Like, so, and I'm like, well, is she just like saying that and giving? And then she's like, no, she's like, she presses it and makes him do it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that because I know that's a hard, like, how do you do that? The boss's mother-in-law is trying to tell you how to run your session.
Like
he knows what she needs to do. Yeah, he knows what she needs to do. She's over here trying to tell him how she needs to work out. But that's exactly, I mean, it highlights this point you're making right now is that, you know, what my advanced age clients above 30 even that have mobility issues is they see that work as insignificant or tedious or not burning fat, not building muscle. It's not helping them towards their pursuit. And they want to rush to the things that get them sore or make them sweat way more. And I think that's probably one of the biggest limitations of when you're at that age.
There's a right way to do it, and that's the right way. Yeah. And the right way is the best way, right? Yeah. The wrong way is the wrong way. It's the worst way. So the right way is how you get the best results. Yeah. They're not independent from each other. You don't get better and faster results from doing it the wrong way. This is actually a conundrum a lot of trainers run into is where they have to combat clients who don't understand this. And here's what I want to say to those trainers. Clients appreciate it when you show confidence and you stick to your guns. Mm-hmm. And sometimes what you got to say, sometimes this is the whip them into shape thing, not like beat them up in the workout.
Ask them what they do for a living.
But yes, sometimes you got to say something like this. Look, I know what I'm doing. You hired me for a reason. Do what I tell you. I've actually had to say that to clients.
Oh yeah, many
and
times.
They appreciate it. It's like, okay, well, they know what they're talking about. So.
Yeah, and I think too that is work that's moving you into that direction. Like, so you're still contracting the muscles. You're building a support system that now you can load in the future to have like an even better successful outcome. And yeah, so that's all part of the process. I think one of the other sort of challenges, like somebody coming in, is like the best lifts, the compound lifts. Like these are ones. There's an educational period that it's going to take and require for you to learn the skill of it first. And so I think that's something to consider. You don't just jump into a lot of these exercises you see people do without the proper practice and not having the substantial loading you think you're able to do.
One of the other limitations or challenges can be too is how like their habits around eating. So if you like, I know my clients that are 40 plus that, you know, eat a certain way, and they have a hard time breaking. Like you made this point earlier, Sal, just like whatever you've been doing for 40 something years hasn't been working. So we need to change your lifestyle. And part of changing your lifestyle means if you had this routine every morning of you eat this,
you might have to change that.
Yeah, you might have to change that. And
maybe even more difficult because it's been this many more years.
That's why, and that's my point is that when they're 20 something, you're still creating these habits. You're 40 something. you may have this routine that you've been doing forever that you think works really well for you, but it really hasn't served you because here you are. And so that sometimes is a little bit challenging to undo, is to shake that up and be like, hey, we're not going to do that anymore. We're gonna do this instead.
That's just across the board. That's a challenge. I would say for specifically for someone over 40, besides the physical limitations, which would be mobility work, the biggest lifestyle limitation I could see with someone over 40 is time. You don't get this necessarily with clients who are younger, but over 40, you get the like, I work a regular job, I have kids, I have other
fully in their career.
I have other responsibilities. Like, I can't work out every day. I can't just be active all the time. It doesn't work for me. So I need to figure out how to make the time to do this, and I need to figure out how to make this effective with the limited amount of time. Because one of the misconceptions is, if I can't do this all the time, then it's a waste of time and I'm not going to get great results. Not true at all. I've gotten some phenomenal results with clients in this age group, limited time, working out twice a week, 2 days a week. I've gotten some exceptional results with people. So, but that's, I would say, one of the biggest challenges, because you're not dealing with like, when I would train retirees, because at one point I was training a lot of older people, like time was never, I have a Wednesday at 10 a.m. open. Okay, cool. Or like any time I had, they would show up. You get over 40, like I can show up at 5 p.m. on this day. That's it. The rest of the week is totally shot. So it could get very challenging. So that becomes a skill.
It can be. That could also be a superpower too, though, because they're like, I only have this time. I don't mess around, like that type of deal. But it absolutely can become a limitation.